So, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. Before we get started, just a couple of things. This session is being recorded, so we will send you the recording after it. While we begin, if you still know somebody who has registered, wants to join, just please let them know because. We have two more speakers joining us in the end from Foxtale and Beastlife. You're going to get insights like never given before from them. It's not often you see them, telling you tips and tricks of the trade. So if you know anybody who's still yet to join, please let them know. Um, and we'll take live question and answers at the end, but during the session also, if you have any questions, please just keep putting it in the chat and we'll take it up in the end. Okay, I will now hand it over to Vijay. He leads Quick Engage at GoQuick and has been dealing with D2C brands for quite some time now. Over to you, Vijay.
Hey, thanks, Tripti. Hey, everyone, and thanks a lot for taking out time. Uh, just get started. Tripti, all visible clearly? Okay.
Yes.
So I think the fundamental thing that we wanted to cover this festive season is that come August till the end of the year, there are a lot of festivals coming up, and I think we have a lot of strategies to probably make the best of it. And at the end, of course, we have two more people joining, one from Foxtel and one from Beastlife. I have personally worked with them for more than 3 years now. So yeah, we'll be very excited for this. It's going to be a 40-minute working session. So we start off with the festive season problem and what happens to ad spends and performance marketing during this time. Then we'll go to how CRM can be the biggest revenue leakage. Then we'll probably understand a little more into how you can go about getting more revenue from your CRM stack. And then we can quickly go to the common mistakes that brands probably make, and then we can go to the brand stories from Beastlife and Foxtail, right? So quickly looking at this, if you see, the calendar is already ticking, right? In August, we have the Independence Day sale, the Rakhi sale, right? Here, the same visitors are being targeted by everyone. Similarly, come September, October, we have the Navaratri and the Dasara season. Then we move to October, November, it's Diwali, November and Black Friday, Cyber Monday, then December, Christmas and New Year, and Jan, it's the end of season sale. So it's going to be a very packed year, right? And all major D2C brands that I know of are already making their campaign calendars, already figuring out what kind of uh, categories that they want to push during this season, right? That's the reason it's very important that you start looking at CRM and retention more seriously during this time. And that's also a lot because I'll give you one statistics, right? So last year during this festive season sale, the spends on Meta almost doubled throughout the entire uh, festival season. And that's a big problem that D2C brands face today, right? Mainly because at the peak time when you're supposed to have your maximum sale, where the CAC increases because everyone is targeting them, and of course the ROAS decreases, right? So that's a big problem for a lot of us. And it's you probably would want to make the highest margin during festive season, but that does not happen, right? And I'm sure a lot of you have faced this across. So now I think the biggest thing that I've seen across brands in the last 2 3 years as I've worked more closely with them is that most people use CRM as a just a reactive methodology, right? Where it's probably you've set up a couple of order confirmation flows, a couple of abandoned checkout flows, and maybe you use it for support tickets, resolution, etc. Right? But you don't really use it for as a opportunity or a revenue lever, which is I think the biggest issue that a lot of brands face today, right? They don't use it as a revenue lever. So if you use it as a revenue lever, CRM can be a significant channel. Uh, so today I think Quick Engage is being used by close to 2,000 brands. I think around 200 to 300 brands are using it as a revenue channel, and they get a significant revenue, right? Whereas the remaining 1800 brands are still using it in a very reactive mode, right? That might be the missing piece. So I just thought I'll give you some broad statistics. So across these 200, 300 brands who are using it as a revenue channel, 12 to 20% of your revenue can come from CRM, right? Which means that let us say you're a brand who does excuse me, you're a brand who does 1 crore revenue in a month, you can at least get 12 to 20 lakhs from CRM, right? And I've taken the top three categories predominantly that we have in D2C today: beauty and personal care, health and wellness, fashion and apparel. And the best part about this is that it actually converts at a 50 to 100% higher ROAS than performance marketing. I think most people on the call will agree that performance marketing is today hovering between 2 to 3 ROI, right? Or ROAS, which means that you almost can double the ROI and still have significant revenue from this channel, right? And of course, we have people in from the industry to maybe add more to that. So if you now broadly break down the entire retention framework or the CRM framework into four buckets, this is how it looks like, right? The first two buckets are we what we call as pre-purchase, and the next two buckets are post-purchase, right? So we start off with identifying anonymous users. So of course, a lot of you know that 90% of the traffic that comes today is remains anonymous. You do not know how to target them. But a lot of brands that I know actively reach out to these users, create the right flows and segments for these users, right? And they actually get almost 20 to 30% more revenue from these users from those who do not target, right? And of course, a lot of brands have started utilizing it more effectively, and that is where you will start to see that your conversion rate on the website can increase by a good 20-30% if you actively reach out to these users. And the ripple effect is that you also end up spending less on retargeting ads, right? So that's a good thing that a lot of brands have started doing, but there's still a lot of scope. When I say scope, there are brands who have set up a journey for day 1 to day 5 to day 10, whereas there are brands who are just sending one nudge, right? And of course, the idea is not to spam the user, but can you contextually create a very engaging journey for the customers is how you can get the best out of anonymous user identification, right? Similarly, the second thing is, of course, cart and drop off recovery. So I have seen brands who have a 2% recovery, and I have seen brands who have a 15 to 16% recovery. So this may or make or break your entire PNL, right? That's how critical cart and drop off recovery are. So there are typically like imagine somebody has actually come to your website, added to cart, abandoned your checkout. That's extremely high intent. So you need to ensure that this kind of gets converted. So that is where a lot of money is left on the table for a lot of brands, right? So this is basically some of the cart recovery and action. You can see that you can personalize depending on the product that the customer has actually abandoned, right? And send them very nice messages, and which are also very creative, so that you can convert them again. So you also can decide what is the brand that you want to stand for. So for example, some brands send a lot of communication content, which is around the usage of the product or the benefits of using the product, whereas some brands which are more discount led lead with the discount, right? It's totally up to the brand to decide how should we go about it, right? Now the third and important addition to this entire journey is of course voice, right? We've seen brands who have increased their abandoned recovery by almost 2 to 3%. So we have seen brands who started at around 3-4% recovery, but with AI calling actually take it up to almost 5-6%. So if to do, and of course we all know that WhatsApp does not get delivered to everyone, so this can become a good fallback. And a lot of brands in D2C are brands where the customers have a lot of questions about. So AI calling can help you answer these questions to your customers, and make it very easy for the customer to get convinced and buy the product, right? So this is an interesting video. I'll quickly play it. Hey, I am from KWIK. Is there anything I can assist you with regarding the item legacy brown leather you left in your cart? Provide me more details. Sure. The legacy brown leather is a smartwatch that comes with a 46 millimeter HD display, IP67 water resistance, healthcare, SpO2 monitoring, weather updates, camera control, and music control. Would you like to place a COD order for this smartwatch? What is the final price? The final price for the legacy brown leather smartwatch is $204.99. Would you like to proceed with placing a cash on delivery order? No. I understand. If you're hesitant, I can offer. So you can actually see how it's still negotiating, of course. By the way, you can control the tonality, you can control the voice, you can make it speak English, you can give it a UK accent, which is what we've done in this video. You can also give it a very Indian accent. You can make it male, female. You can give it a personality. So all of those things are also possible, right? So it becomes very interesting for you to get more money during this festive season. Then the third part, lever three is repeat purchases. You'll be very surprised to know that a lot of brands that I work with do not set up proper repeat journeys. So depending on the category you're in, either you can set up a repeat journey for a replenishment. For example, if you're in the protein brand like Beastlife, you can set up a lot of repurchase or replenishment flows. Or if let us say you're an apparel brand who and the customer has just bought a t-shirt, you can send a cross sell trigger for maybe a jeans or a trousers, etc., right? But ensuring that you create the right intent across the journey is very important, right? So today most of the brands, whoever even have set up a post purchase journey, end up setting up a single nudge or a couple of nudges. So the idea is, can you create a journey where maybe on day once the order is delivered on T+1, you send out a feedback message. On T+7, you send out a usage guide, and then slowly you engage the audience. And maybe on a T+15 or a T+30, you start your cross sell or upsell, right? So that essentially increases your lifetime value of the customer. And once they are hooked onto your brand, you are very you're going to get a lot of revenue out of them. So I think that's the third lever. So like you will see a lot of examples here. Similarly, the last one is, of course, which the main reason we are speaking here is a personalized festive campaign. So we've seen that a lot of people generally have a single methodology of sending festive campaigns. They create their high intent lists and just send it out. But we would advise you to probably create a lot more segmented approach to this entire methodology, where you kind of use RFM segments and figure out what kind of segments you want to target and what are the kind of offers you want to send them. So for example, creating a VIP early access list is a great way. Can you maybe give them an offer one day upfront? Makes the customer feel special. You will have extremely high conversion. Similarly, you can also use this to reach out to your dormant customers. So typically 60 to 70% of the users today must have purchased from you once and not come back. So might be a great time for you to win them back, with offers. Uh, and yeah, of course, you can also then segment your users to figure out what is the right communication and offer you want to promote during this festive season, right? And then, of course, this is some of the sales that we've seen last time that people have sent out, right? Common mistakes that we think you should all avoid is that you should not just send one message to your entire list. Just segment users as much as possible and send them more contextual messages. Similarly, recovering cards too late. I've seen brands who send out abandoned checkout messages maybe 24 or 48 hours later. At the ideal time would be to send it out maybe within the first 2 to 4 hours for the best conversion. And similarly, do not, of course, ignore your WhatsApp opt-in health. We've seen a lot of brands struggle because their WhatsApp number gets flagged during this festive season, which is a common practice. So Meta comes to come very hard during this time because the inflow of messages can also increase. And of course, we started it from the first. Please do not treat it like a support only channel. Use CRM as a revenue lever, right? So yeah, quickly, here is a quick checklist that you can keep in mind for this festive season. You can set up anonymous user identification. Then you can, like, audit your current timing, message, and channel. All very important. You can experiment with channels. While WhatsApp, of course, is predominant for a lot of users, SMS and RCS seems to be doing well, right? You can also audit the timing, do A/B testing on timing, messaging, etc. Similarly, you can segment your audience, then set up the right replenishment journeys and repeat purchase triggers. Um, and, like, then also personalize the messaging for each segment for the festive offer, right? And of course, you can also set up an AI chatbot, because we've seen that meta delivery rates increase on WhatsApp if you set up a AI chatbot, right? And of course, we already discussed AI calling, and so on and so forth, right? So I think I'll quickly call upon my friend Avichal. So Avichal, I have been working almost for a good 3 years now, Avichal. So would love to
Yeah,
hand it over to Avichal on what he has done and how he has blitzscaled retention. Yeah.
yeah. No, thanks for inviting me, Vijay. And yeah, good afternoon to everyone who's on the call. Um, so yeah, a few things which I think can sum up a journey with Quick Engage. We one of I think one of the first users and of basically Quick Pass, and we've seen it scale a lot over the last 2.5 years. So yeah, 50% of the users today were able to identify, and the laws here are also quite stringent. Also, the Quick team has, I think, done a good job of keeping it legally compliant. ROAS, I think, yeah. It's roughly that. Internal and external dashboards might not be the same, but yeah, we generally see very good ROAS on retention campaigns. And yeah, CRM contributes to roughly 15 to 20% of our overall D2C revenue. Um, and overall includes both app and web, right? So significant part of our revenue today is via WhatsApp, SMS, RCS. So yeah, very good, very impactful and high ROAS channel for us at Foxtale for sure. A few of the things which we've been able to do with Quick Engage, not rocket science, very basic, but even all this generally takes time. So you need to know what are your key movers for repeat rate, and then accordingly you can set up flows. So a couple of these for us were what type of cross sell we can do. So we generally saw that people who are buying one oily skin product were very likely to buy another. We could see that very clearly in a cross sell data. So we were able to set it up fairly easily on Quick Engage. कि अगर उन्होंने एक oil and acne face wash खरीदा है, maybe you can cross sell them a oil balancing moisturizer or a niacinamide serum, right? And that really helped us drive repeat on these specific products. So you can pick basically 8 to 10 of your high contribution SKUs and go from there. Right. The product page nudge, I think again this is one of the most powerful flows on Quick Pass at least, right? That whenever someone comes onto your page, you can send them a WhatsApp very quickly. You should experiment here with subject lines कि ऑफर पहले देना है या प्रोडक्ट के बारे में पहले बात करना है. With the images also make a huge difference. So yeah, Go Quick today has A/B testing as well. So definitely worth A/B testing a lot on all of these flows. Um, in general, would recommend that one-time campaigns. I think in general in D2C are very common, but try moving to flows as much as possible so that your predictability of repeat revenue is high. Also, your ROAS on flows in general might appear low on your dashboards or whatever tool which you are looking at. But how you should also see is it moving your repeat revenue? Is it moving the retention of that product and retention overall as well, right? Because people might see the WhatsApp and they might buy from somewhere else. And especially if you have a full Meta and Google engine running, very important to just keep that in mind as well. But yeah, these are a few things we did on personalization. Segments, we've done a lot of work because, of course, we had a lot of data to learn from as well. So today we segment on the basis of what products they purchase, their discount affinity, and of course there's LTV, which is basis the number of purchases a person has made with us, and also the AOV at which they generally end up purchasing, right? So yeah, sometimes we do pushes basically where to a specific audience set which we know buys, for example, again, oily products. In campaigns also we will predominantly show them and push them oily skin products only, right? Because we know the chances of them converting and in general being happy with their purchase is also higher if they come back and repeat on this product, right? So yeah, that's also something which you can do for sure. If you're an early stage brand, LTV, I would say, is the number one metric which you should segment on. Basically, kitna what recency free the RFM, basically. That's, I think, a great place to start with. And then as and when the business grows, you can see how you want to pull in cross category segments, and then also discount affinity, which are more harder segments, but they're still definitely worth trying out. And there might be other things also which might be relevant to your brand, but I think that you should look into your own data and try and figure that. Um, so I think that was that on how we try and approach segmentation. In terms of the festive season, I think one very important thing is which happens every year is the timing, right? If you have a performance engine running, look for when Meta, Google start spending more. Look for when are the big sales of Flipkart, Amazon happening, right? Because in festive, shopper mindset is very, very important. Almost half of the revenue of most big brands happen in these 3 months, right? So it's a very competitive space, but also customers are willing to buy, they are willing to spend in these 2 3 months. So you have to be very careful about when you are sending these pushes, because if majority of the people are not in a frame of mind to purchase, then your ROAS will take a hit, right? So generally what we've seen is Saturdays, Sundays, first, 31st, payday days basically. And then of course festive may, whenever that pre-Diwali period starts, and that period during which Amazon, Flipkart also go very high. There are a lot of marketplace sales happening. That is your sign to go very, very heavy. So that is a bit on timing. I think it was already mentioned, keep your creatives focused on festive. What are some of the products which very naturally fit into that theme as well? Try and adapt your copy also similarly. Create urgency via early accesses or like special freebies to your retention cohorts. So that's always a good idea. Um, and yeah, in festive, of course, one good problem to have is there a lot of revenue might come, so you might be enticed to send more and more campaigns, but do maintain some sort of limits on basically the frequency you want to push, because then it might affect your cohorts later. So yeah, that I think you should be able to see via your own data. Key, should I send my data basically in my retention code something three times something in a month, or 5 times something, up to you, right? So yeah, I think those are 2 3 things which I hope can add value.
Thanks a lot. I think I'll quickly move on to Arjun. So again, Arjun leads a lot of things at Beastlife, and of course, a lot of you know that Beastlife is a very heavy community led brand. So Arjun, Please, over to you.
Hi Vijay, thanks for the nice intro. ठीक है. So मतलब as मतलब all of is summed up very well, but as you mentioned कि festival is coming, मतलब specifically in beauty and e-commerce, September, October, November, मतलब what we don't follow September, October, November, what we follow Rakhi, Navratri, Diwali, Black Friday, and then New Year sale. So these
Right.
are the next 5 months for us. And मतलब I am in e-commerce from past 4 years, so मतलब we are following this calendar only. So as you mentioned, ki matlab what we in the when we were in beauty at that time, 50% of revenue come from only 3 months of the year. So this is the matlab pretty huge amount of revenue. Matlab people most of the people miss that.
Oh, by the way, so for people who don't know, Arjun before Beastlife used to lead D2C in M Caffeine as well.
Correct, correct. So this is something ki and even I'm not talking about any D2C. If you see the number of Amazon, Flipkart, Nykaa, they all have matlab war room ready for September to December. So this is something that we follow, and when we क्या बोलते हैं कि we prepare the AOP, 50% of AOP close in that 3 month only.
God.
So and apart from, let's say if I talk about D2C, and that D2C is now very matlab, now India is now going towards the personalization D2C branding. So when we talk about let's say why consumer is purchasing from my own website, so this is something ki retention and consumer experience both came in picture. Matlab, let's say your product is same, but if you are selling on D2C versus selling on Amazon, what you are doing different, matlab, what you are pitching them different. That's the nudge of the, let's say ki even if you order from Amazon, people will come and go ki let's say theek hai, they are opting for service only. But when they are opening your website now, at that time they are choosing you because you give them that personalization, that personal touch when their order is packed, when there is let's say any issue, how you are catering that. So this is something that what we believe. And if I talk about the business, so what we achieve ki you can't do the, as you mentioned in first slide, ki you can't do the bomb blasting of the campaign. You need to segment very carefully. Matlab, let's say what are your power users is, let's say 8% of power users can contribute to 20 to 25% of the revenue. So that is something what we follow at Beastlife. And if I break down into two, so at Beastlife, if everybody is aware about the Gaurav Taneja, so which is community driven narrative. So what we don't do ki boss today is Sunday, this is sale is running, get the discount. No. What we do ki if you want to matlab, really engage with us, if you are let's say if you're buying 1 kg protein powder, so we ask them daily ki, had you taken your protein powder? Do you facing any issue? Had you missed? So there's this type of logging, two-way interaction, which builds the community. कि let's say brand is caring about me. Amazon आपको ये नहीं बेचता, मतलब कि they don't do personal. Hi Arjun, had you taken your protein scoop today? So that's what मतलब GoQuick or QuickChat can empower, and which is empowering very well मतलब in two-way communication. Even if we any do product launches, we do two-way only. If you are interested, then we will only notify you or we will pitch you. We don't want to create a noise, because at then when consumer wakes up in the morning and they see ki minimum 10 messages from the brand. So that is something ki how you are matlab doing first impression. So community campaign, matlab, I don't know how many guys have done, but if you let's go with only Diwali. Matlab, I will recommend ki just do one campaign with two-way engagement and then see the result as compared to your normal broadcast. What you will see minimum what we had seen ki 3x of conversions and ROAS of 2x. तो लेट्स से आपके नॉर्मल में 10 का ROAS आ रहा है, वहां पे आपको 15 से 20 का मिलेगा ही मिलेगा. Same about if I talk about the festive campaign, which is let's say bulk campaign only. But for that also you can't target. Let's say I have in Quick Pass, I have more than 2 million of users. If I am sending that broadcast of 2 million, my marketing budget of yearly will consume in month only. So where we use matlab, segmentation very pretty well. Let's say if you can see Quick Engage RFM segment, AI segment, you have क्या बोलते हैं, live segment, which is something that we were looking for. So that is something ki if you have playbook ready, you don't need to even refresh now segment. It's already there. You need to just let's say even AI template is supporting ki auto creation of the template. So that is something that festival campaign can help. And यार बॉस ना इंडिया में फेस्टिवल ही चलते हैं, मतलब जितने लोगों ने ट्राई नहीं किया. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट सेल. इफ यू आर रनिंग BAU कैंपेन ना, जस्ट इंटीग्रेट द थीम इन दैट, and you will see the minimum 50% of CTR increase. Even we had seen this on retention, even on performance on Meta also.
Yeah,
That is something that matlab we do. Matlab we even we use matlab as you mentioned in first, like 25% of revenue comes from CRM only, which is pure WhatsApp. Matlab, we are not doing even any email or app push or web push as of now. So this is something that's a, I can say is ceiling for the brand if they are aiming for retention.
correct. But yeah, I think I think there are some screenshots also on what he was saying. So this is how the replenishment and daily streak nudges look like. So yeah,
Correct. मतलब if you see the replenishment, मतलब let's say कि and if we are in any category, मतलब कि अगर आपका प्रोडक्ट खत्म हो रहा है ना, it will take in India की 2 day to 3 day for D2C only. So people mostly ignore this part ki replenishment ki we are running sale na, they will purchase. Even consumer don't have any 1 minute time for your brand. So that is something ki you are if consuming their mind space, you need to automate it. So that is something that replenishment we are doing. Daily streak is crazy part, as I mentioned. Matlab, you can try with one product. I can suggest any brand ki just go with one of your hero product and just create one streak wala challenge. Then you can see the matlab, after 14 days you will see the matlab, miracles. So that is something that we can try.
got it. Think yeah, so I think we've spoken about it from both places. Thank you so much, Avichal. Thank you so much, Arjun. We've been friends for a good 2 3 years now. So thanks for doing this together. And Tripti, if we can maybe quickly take questions.
Yeah. I see one question here from Yash Verma. What is the correct strategy to target segments? Uh,
Yeah, I think we've discussed that enough. Of course, please do use segmentation, RFM, and depends on your product and how the product goes. So please do use RFM segments, understand your customers, look for what they purchased and what they might want to purchase next. So that's how you kind of segment users.
yeah. I don't see any other question, guys. You can raise your hand also, and I'll unmute you, and you can ask here as well in case you have any other questions. I see one.
I see another question asking, can we, what is the strategy for win back customers? Yeah, I think Avichal, you have done that. Maybe great for you to maybe just tell the group on how to win back users. We literally discussed this yesterday.
Um, Sorry, can you just repeat? I missed the last
Yeah, so I
part.
was just so one of the questions on the panel was how do you what is the strategy to win back customers?
Yeah. I think one crucial thing to know is why are customers mostly not coming back? Is it price? Is it if they're unhappy with the product? Or is it something else? So what we saw at Foxtale sometimes was people were going to marketplaces and buying, which is fair because sometimes people just like that convenience. So one thing is to understand firstly why are they not coming back. Um, what you can do is unfortunately solve via two or three things only. One is of course discount. You can reserve some additional promotion or discount which is only there for win back, just to help them come back and place their second order. And by the way, once a customer places their second order with you, they're almost twice as likely to be a loyal customer, right? So the journey from one order to two orders is pretty high, a high chance of them to be a customer for you for long. So that is one. The second, I would say, is try to cross sell them to another category. Maybe they didn't really love the product or whatever they got from you. So, what we try and do is if we know someone got something from one category and maybe they didn't have a great experience, we try to see if they will come back and buy from us from a very different category, which will have a different selling proposition, right? So that those are, I think, two things which come to my mind for sure. But for sure, again, try and go deeper into your data as well and see what patterns emerge.
Thanks, Avichal. Arjun, anything you want to add maybe to that? How to do win back customers?
हम लोग just add one point here कि win back and churning both are मतलब critical part. Let's say कि if your consumer is churned or if you want to win back, मतलब there are no clear answer. मतलब both you have to ना experiment daily. मतलब What I tell to the team ki in 1 week you need to at least try 4 strategy for win back, and you can't win only in one campaign. It's a long form journey. If your consumer haven't purchased from you, let's say from last 90 days, how you are expecting it will convert in only one campaign? So maybe matlab, if I will go with Winback, so first I will go with ki flow. Okay, why hadn't you purchased yet? I will first analyze ki, what are the pain points, and then I will offer. Matlab, when we had done one survey before 6 months, so most of the consumer were choosing next day delivery, and for that they are churning to the another platform only. And when we have enabled that, matlab, our retention will increase almost by 4% overall numbers. So that is something that you can try, but there is no playbook. You need to just only iterate and iterate. Bas.
Yeah.
Adding to that, we have another interesting question. What is the max scale retention can achieve in D2C, which would be healthy for a brand?
Yeah, I think Arjun also covered it. Both I think Foxtale and Beastlife would be upwards of 40% retention easily. Right, Arjun Avijal? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And out of that, I think close to 30-40% can be driven from your CRM channel, which would be roughly 15 to 20% of overall revenue.
Hmm. Okay. Um, we have more question.
Someone asked, could you help get set up with retention consultants? So yes, we do. We do have a exhaustive team of like onboarding managers, customer success managers, as well as we recently launched something called as managed services. So there's a whole suite of people depending on what's your need. If you only want strategy, there is a different set of people. If you want both strategy and execution, we can figure that out as well.
Yeah. And if you just want to get help in onboarding, I have also sent a link to everybody. You can just book a call with us and we'll help you get onboarded. Let's see if there are any questions you want to take.
What if, I think there's one more question. How to get strategy and execution? Could you please connect, guide on whom to connect? Yeah, I think so. We can just set up a demo call and we can take it from there. Uh, then other
What if we
thing,
are running a campaign, say, uh, what if we are running a campaign, say a payday sale? How should we go about targeting them? Should it be on a cohort basis and nudge them a single time, or same campaign can be run on multiple cohorts?
so typically, of course, you have to create multiple cohorts, and the communication to each cohort should vary depending on the kind of cohort there is, right? So it can like the Uber messaging can be it's a payday sale, you'll get 10% off, but the remaining communication can be, for example, the image you attach can be your hero product that probably the customer has already bought, right? Or the communication can change depending on the segment you're targeting. So some brands also use local languages. So you can cohort your users based on geography and send them in Hindi, Telugu, Kannada, whatever, right? So things like that as well can work.
When I run campaigns, most of the messages get failed. How can I increase the delivery rate? We
Okay.
have a feature called
Yeah, so there's basically three things. We have a feature called AI Smart Retry, which of course keeps retrying. But more than that, you can also keep a good combination of utility and marketing messages, which means that at least let us say 20-30% of your number should have utility messages. And the second thing is like Arjun also said, you should use campaigns which are two-way communication. So if you have like messages which has quick reply buttons and the customers keep clicking on that, you'll start to see an increase in the engagement, and Meta takes this as a positive signal, which means that there will be an increase in the delivery rate, right? And the third thing, of course, is following the same principle, have an AI based chatbot, at least if not AI, at least have a an ML based chatbot, which is a flow based option. So that Meta sees that every time a customer sends a message, you revert to it, which means that the engagement or the two-way-ness of the WhatsApp handle increases and your delivery rate increases.
yeah. We'll take one or two last questions. Lokesh has been asking for a while. Do we run more campaigns or more flows?
Like Avichal rightly said, the more you can optimize with flows, the better. I think Avichal has taken a goal of making it 50% from flows, but most brands start off from lesser flows and more campaigns, and over time you understand your customer behavior and you set up flows. So it's a journey. But yeah, automations always give you higher ROI than campaigns because it is always based on some trigger.
Okay, let's take one last question maybe. Um, I have started a new brand. It's a wellness brand where we educate people by books. This product is about overthinking, how to stop it. So, what can be the retention revenue that I can expect, and what will be the time to hit 25% of attribution, and what strategy should I use to get there?
Yeah, so typically, if it's a wellness brand, so so retention depends heavily on how frequently the customer needs your product, right? So, for example, if you buy a sunscreen, more often than not, it'll get over in 1 to 2 months, right? So, of course, the retention will be much higher. Whereas, probably, let us say, apparel, the next apparel purchase from the same brand might take 3 to 6 months. So, it is slightly lower month on month compared to a beauty brand. Similarly, in wellness, well, of course, you need protein every month. So, right, it's a regular purchase. So think about it that way. And I think 20 to 25%, it'll probably you can reach there in 3 to 6 months for sure. Right. At least the first 10 to 15% is the easy bit. Post that, it'll take you effort to reach to 20 to 25%.
Okay, I think uh,
Home
I
decor.
think
We've actually been working with this brand called Home Essentials, which is doing very, very well. There as well, 10 to 12% is something that is very easily possible in the first 3 months itself. Post that, we'll have to figure. It depends a lot on the kind of categories you have within home decor as well. So if you have enough cross-sell products, which means that, let us say, you just taking an example, if you have a blanket and a pillow and a mattress, things like that, then there is enough scope for you to cross-sell into other categories. But if you just have a single product, then the possibility of cross sell or upsell might be rare, right? Because if you've bought a blanket once, the next time you need a blanket might be a lot of time. So think of it like that.
okay. Um, does can your chatbot be trained based on our brand?
Yes, yes, definitely. That's the whole point of AI. So yes, it can definitely be trained based on your bot. Yeah.
Okay, I think we still have a lot more questions, but uh,
Niyati was asking if how can we use RCS? Yes, RCS is something that you can definitely use. You can use it on Quick Engage or and it does work in certain segments. You have to experiment. I don't think it's still widely as adopted for us to clearly give you a playbook on where or when it'll deliver value. But in some segments, I see that performing very, very well. So you might have to hit and miss a little bit to understand which segment it works with.
okay, I think that's about it. Um, a few things we will all send you the thank you so much, first of all, Arjun and Avijal, taking out time for us. Thank you everybody who's attended. um,
Yeah. Thanks a
I
lot,
hope
Arjun, for this. Really, really helpful.
we're going to send out an email with the recording, and there are two links which I have shared on the chat. If you just want, a walkthrough of the product and want somebody to talk to you, there is a link. You can just book a call there, and if you need help in getting onboarded to Quick Engage, there's another calendar link which we have pasted on the chat. Please book a call through that, and we'll help you get onboarded. All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.